How's everybody doing today? We are going to be taking a look at a Turtles of Grayskull Mossman Mutated Master of Nature. And as you can see, it is the deluxe packaging. This was a Walmart exclusive, and I found him today on the shelf. This is the first time that I have seen him, so he is officially on shelves in Walmart currently. So we turn around to the side of the box, we got this cool picture of Mossman, and as you can see, he's kind of got this tendril thing growing off of his arm. The other side of the box here, we've got a different photo of Mossman where he has like a Venus flytrap thing growing out of his head. So that's pretty cool. It looks like he's got some purple tentacly stuff around him. On the back of the box, we have a really cool picture of Mossman fighting against Leonardo. We'll go ahead and try to zoom in on that, get a closer look, and then zoom in down on the blurb here. It says, Eternia's living manifestation of nature, Mossman joined He-Man to investigate the mysterious disturbance at the swamp of Gangoon. After an ambush took him out of commission, Mossman rose from what felt like a nightmarish slumber as a brainwashed abomination of all he once held dear. So really cool artwork. Looks like it's done by maybe a different artist than some of the other artwork that we've had. It's a little more, I don't want to say cartoony. It just looks a little different. It's got a little different look to it. And then it says down here at the bottom, he can attack with Flytrap or swap onto head to chomp enemies. So he can either grab them with this hand or he can just eat them with that big Flytrap head. So pretty cool looking Mossman. Let's go ahead and get him pulled out of the box and take a closer look. And then we can see here on the side, it just shows how the tentacles go in his back. His head can be removed, and you can put that plant-like thing on his head. And here we have the Mossman pulled out of the package, looking extra cool. Let's go ahead and pull him out. It looks like he has one of those stiff cards that comes with some of the other figures. It's not necessarily a comic book. It's kind of just like a big old thick card. And we'll pull that out and take a look at it in just a minute. And then we just have this color burst background that kind of filled in this dead space behind Mossman. So let's go ahead and get that out of the way. All right, here we have Mossman out of the packaging and looking pretty cool. He is definitely a translucent green. Before we fully go over Mossman here, though, I do want to take a look at some of his accessories. So he did come with this big tentacle. As you saw on the package, this will attach to his hand. He can hold on to it right here. This little piece will fit down into his grasping hand, so he can kind of hold on to that, and it will look like it is coming to grab at you. And then we have this little neck nodule piece, or maybe it will go, it's going to go with this guy right here. So it looks like you can either put the ball joint on maybe directly on this mouthpiece, or you can put this in here and then put it on to extend the neck. We'll go ahead and try it out both ways and just see how that looks. In addition to those pieces, he did come with these extremely large, extremely purple, and I did think they were going to be more bendy and less firm. They do have some bend to them, but you can't position them. It kind of would have been cool if they would have been like a wire or something so that you could have positioned each one of these little tentacles whichever direction that you wanted to, but it does come with two, and they have a little plug right here that will plug right into the back of his armor, and we'll show you that in just a little bit. As far as his card goes, pretty cool looking card. We'll go ahead and zoom in on this just so you can get a better look at it and read it if you want to. It says Mossman, Mutated Master of Nature, Mutagen Master Powers, Mossman, Camouflage in Nature, Shapeshift into Plant Life, Telepathic Communication with Plants, Mutation, Zombified Manifestation of the Dark Forest, Overgrown with Dangerous Plants, Overpowering Toxic Scents. So it sounds like he gained some additional abilities when he became mutated, and that's pretty cool. Nice little twist we have on Mossman there. So now we can go over his articulation. Let's go ahead and get his arm down here, and we will start with his head. He can look to the left. He can also look to the right. His head will spin all the way around if you want it to do so. And you got to be careful because some of these things here will get caught on his chin, so just make sure you rotate his chin accordingly. He can look down pretty far, and as far as looking up, he can look up to about there. So not too bad. I feel like it's almost like a Wolfman type face on here. Really cool looking Mossman. I love the translucent green. This purple armor is really cool. A different take on Mossman's armor. So as far as the arms, they're going to be the same on both sides, so we'll just work here on Mossman's right hand side. It will spin all the way around. It will go all the way up, down, and then you can rotate it. I'm sorry, I already said that. You can rotate it all the way around. It does have a swivel at the elbow as well as a single joint that you can bend up about 90 degrees. Looks like he can do a little head scratching. And then we're going to come down to his wrist. It will also rotate all the way around. It doesn't look like, yep, he does. Wow, that fooled me because of the translucence in the green. I couldn't really see that there. But his wrist will bend in and out just a little bit. As we come down to his waist, it will also rotate a full 360 degrees. And his legs will go out to about there as far as the splits. He'll kick forward and back, something like that. And then he does have a single jointed knee. He does have a cut here in the middle of his calf, which will allow you to rotate the bottom of his leg, as well as here at his ankle, there's another joint. We don't really have so much back and forth. It just depends on how it is. This joint is positioned. This is a new style of foot or ankle, so it is a little bit different than what we've seen before. It is the same feet that are on the Demogorgon, if you've seen that one. It's the same feet. We'll bring him in a little bit just to kind of compare, kind of do a little comparison with the Demogorgon and with this mutated Mossman. If we can just get him to stand up here real quick. So now we're going to go ahead and take his accessories and see if we can get those positioned in his hand correctly. It looks like his hand was turned wrong, so this is just going to slide right on in there, or it should slide right on in there, and just attach to his hand like that. He'll just hold right onto it, and that's about as best as you're going to get. It does look like he's going to have a hard time standing with this accessory. Let's see if I can get him to do it. You may have to use that as part of the ground post, you know, another point of contact on the ground, because it looks like if you try to raise it up, he's just going to tip forward. As far as his big old flower that's going to eat your face, it says it can plug in to his wrist, but I believe he's just going to hold on to this as well. It doesn't actually have the same ball joint that's going to plug into his wrist, so he's just going to hold on to this piece right here of the flower, and that is what's going to allow him to hold it in his hand. We're going to go ahead and get it set up with it on his head, so I will be right back. Alright, so as you can see here, we have it on his head, and I'm going to go ahead and pull this out of his arm just kind of raise this up so you can see. We did not put the neck extension on yet right here. I just wanted to see how it fit and articulated without that. It looks like it still turns 360 degrees. It's still going to open up and do all of that fun stuff. I haven't decided which is the best way to kind of have it on here. Just so that it looks right, because it just looks kind of different, to be honest. I might use this as like a background display piece more so than actually on his head or attached to his arm in some sort of weapon fashion. Let's pull that off. Let's go ahead and put this little extender on and see how we like it that way. And these are all just connected by ball joints, a bunch of ball joints. So that's going to make Mossman real tall right there. Let's see if we can get him. He will stand with the head. He would not stand with just that arm, but he will stand with the big wonky shaped head. It does seem to be giving me a little bit more trouble now, but he will stand, and it does seem like it fits better and articulates better if you have the neck extension on. And it will turn all the way around 360 degrees. It does articulate up, down. And then the mouth portion here does open and close. You can put that on whichever side you want to signify the top. I kind of like it this way. I'm not sure, maybe this way. It just looks kind of weird to me on his head up there. So like I said, I'm going to display this as like probably just on the ground beside him. I'll find some way to put it just so it looks like some plant life. I'll go ahead and snap his head back on for now, and we are going to stick the tentacles into his back. So as of right now, let's see, we can just kind of lay that there. We'll just kind of lay that there, and it'll just kind of look like a little pile of stuff that goes together. Now these, as I said before, when you turn him around, you can see he's got two plugs on his back, so you can plug these in. You can either put this at the top or bottom, so you can plug them in on this side, this way. Or if you wanted to, you could plug them in opposite over here and have kind of the longer tentacles coming out of the top. I suppose it just depends on how you're going to display them and how much room you have above his head as to which way you want to display them. I'm probably going to have mine like this, just for the simple fact that my shelves I have worked out to be right around 6.5 inches tall. So I feel like if I had this going up, then it's just going to be hitting on the top of my shelf. Let's go ahead and plug this other one into the back so we can get a look at that. And yeah, I feel like those were just a really cool addition. They look like some kind of vines, tentacles coming out of there, and I think that that was awesome. I wish that they would have done something like this sooner, because this definitely works with a Mossman type figure. The purple looks good with the green. You know, green and purple are some of my favorite characters. As far as Mossman goes, though, let's go ahead and pull this stuff all off of him. We're going to take a quick look at him with no armor at all. Let's go ahead and get his head pulled back off. And then in order to take this off, he will come apart right at the waist. Ooh, tight boy. He'll come apart right at the waist. You can snap that right back in there. And then these, I want to say, these will just slide right down. Yep. Slide right down over the hand. And you don't even need to take the arms off to do that. I'll put those back to the side and get Mossman's head snapped back into place. So now if you just wanted this more traditional, no armored version of Mossman, also looking very cool. The translucent green, the translucent colors are always nice. The way his feet are, it is kind of cool because it allows him to position like he's taking a step here. Just the different shape of the toes and stuff just are going to allow you to position him just a little bit different than some of the other characters. As we look in close on him, you can see he does have the blue lines kind of reminiscent of Mutated He-Man or Mutated Ram-Man, just where the mutagen or the ooze is kind of coming down over his body and maybe infecting his veins. I think that's kind of what they were going for with that look. Now we're going to compare him real quick with another guy who I think will make a great comparison just simply because they share some body parts. So let's go ahead and pull in our famous Demogorgon. All right, now I feel like this is a pretty cool comparison. He has a plant-like head that kind of goes like this plant-like head. If you wanted to, this armor would actually look really cool on the Demogorgon, the purple and purple here, if that's something that you were wanting to do. And then he's kind of got that flowery looking head. I feel like that would work really well. As you can see down here, their feet are the same, so that's a reused sculpt. And then their hands have also been reused. And then they are both working off of just your standard, I want to say, Beastman body. So pretty cool to note. We've got the same little wrist bracers, same hands, same feet, same body. We just got a couple different heads, and we did get another plant-like head. But I just wanted to mention it because I thought it would be cool, possibly. The purple armor on the Demogorgon, and then this golden armor over here on Mossman. I feel like that could look really cool just because this is some armor we've seen on Mossman before. Let me go ahead and just move this out of the way a bit. Talking about this armor that you can't even really see. So there, right there, I feel like that golden armor could look cool on Mossman, but I like to keep these figures for the most part how I got them. So I'm going to keep the Demogorgon in his gold attire set up just like this, at least until we complete the Stranger Things set. We'll go ahead and get him pulled out of the way off to the side. I'm going to go ahead and get Mossman dressed back up, and then we'll go over our final thoughts. So there we have Mutated Mossman, and I'm probably going to display him just like this on the shelf. I'm not really sure where he's going to fit over with my Turtles of Grayskull stuff here on the background of the screen, but when we get him home set up in the diorama, I'm probably going to have his flowers just kind of set with him like this, maybe some other figures, you know, in the picture with him, but I feel like it's good to set him up this way. He doesn't necessarily need this stuff on his hands, and it does just make great filler for the background. So if you want to use it like I'm going to use it and just kind of as diorama pieces, they do work wonderfully for that. I want to thank you guys for checking out the video. Don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, turn the notifications on. That way you get hip to all of the coming videos. They will be probably 2, 3, maybe 5 videos a week. It just depends. The schedule's really back and forth, but I definitely try to get up at least 3 videos per week. 2 would be cutting it really short, actually. So 3 videos per week, sometimes 5. So go ahead and tune in. We'll see you next time. Love you all. Have a blessed day. Don't forget to tell someone you love them, and we'll see you next time.